Pugilism, the art of fighting with fists. Is it just a sport, a great cardio activity, or even a form of self-defense? We'll break it down. Top of the evening or morning to those folks tuning in, and welcome to my channel. Here I'll be showing and overall practicing boxing and how it impacts one's physical, mental, and even emotional state. With me being like, the guinea pig. Just showing you guys how it also impacts me on my daily life. Because I like to think that boxing is more like a lifestyle of me than a hobby. And, I'd like to give a brief breakdown of this channel's direction. In the background, I like to show a short shadowboxing video of me cooling down after my training session. And, well, yeah, let's get it. To me, boxing is that one art where expression comes uniquely from your own body, right? Specifically, your two fists and legs. You move, you think, and you hit as you're trying to make a point, both literally and figuratively speaking. And for those with a wild imagination, your arms can, sometimes become whiplashes or shields. In some cases, coaches even, advise you to do that because it probably gives you a better execution of how you throw your punches, right? That mind-muscle connection. Or sometimes your own hands can be compared to sledgehammers, for those with God-gifted heavy-handed strength, You also move your legs to the sound of your mind and its intentions, right? Or you can make that regretful mistake of falling into your opponent's rhythm. In some cases, it's like, wanting to chase down something that's in front of you. The end goal is just trying to chase him, or in boxing, chase him down and stop him. But you have to be smart about it, of course. Otherwise, you can fall into that trap, and, the repercussions of following after them is just can be very disheartening and unmotivating, right? And, there's also the main fact that you learn how to hit with the entirety of your body weight in that matter. Compared to when you first start out, you want to throw a punch, but it's not properly executed, or you don't execute the proper body mechanics. It's just you probably throwing an arm punch, right? Or without positioning yourself. There's always time and space for arm punches. But in this case, you're just throwing an attack with, I believe, 20 to 30% of your body's power, And so just learning how to do that, it just elevates you as a whole, And another thing is that you learn to control or develop your tenacity and just flow it and express it, right? Sometimes when you start boxing, you start out as the opposite of who you are. Sometimes you're more of a shy, more quiet, a reserved person. And it might be a terrifying experience getting in the ring with somebody and just putting on those gloves, right? And so, as time goes by, you just start becoming this new person. You start, thinking more on your feet. You start showing who you really are. In a way, you're expressing who you are, kind of like the whole psychology behind wearing a mask. In this case, I'm not saying you're hiding behind gloves, right? But you're, showing who you are behind gloves, right? And, just like how everybody is built different, whether it be stocky or lanky, short-armed or long-armed, you all express that in your own style and just, showing who you really are. And like, in a way, it's like having a newfound power, And although it seems so simple compared to everything else that's being offered in the world, you find effectiveness in that power, right? And then you start walking around with this aura of confidence that radiates courage and strength, with the topping of humbleness. And remember, there's only two hands in boxing. Like how this one boxing school that I found on Instagram, Quinn Boxing, I think that's her name. The coach, he said, you produce the same movements on the daily, in and out, same slips, same rolls, same body twists and everything. In the simplicity of those movements, you can pursue perfection. You can dedicate endless hours to master them and find pleasure in doing so, right? But, that's my overall perspective and of pugilism, or practically how I like to call it on this channel's name, On the Way to Pugilism. Furthermore, touching the subject of the direction of this channel, I'll be showcasing my approach to boxing, trying to understand more of its concept. I would also like to engage into workout challenges or body transformations, that the ones I've been seeing a lot lately, the 30-day transformations, bulking, cutting. I definitely like to incorporate other styles of training, right? Like wrestling, for example. I read somewhere that, or, advice. I read advice somewhere from a person saying that boxers should kind of follow how a wrestler trains. In a way, wrestling might be a little bit more intense. It has more intensity in their training. Boxers, they have to do endless hours on a single technique and also carrying the body weight of another human, which is very impressive, right? And I'd also love to show some sparring footage here and there, as well as provide tutorials. But the overall goal is to build a very inspiring community with my viewer support. Also, I'd like to invite y'all to follow me on this new journey on becoming students of pugilism. And thank you all very much for stopping by. This was the channel's first introduction, of course, and hopefully I'll stay tuned for more to come. See y'all soon.